Good evening, and welcome to Weird-O-Rama. I'm your host, Victor von Psychotron, and all of us at Weird-O-Rama will always strive to bring you the creepy.
What makes you think you'll leave this room alive?
The strange. And of course, the weird.
I knew that you were sensitive the first minute I saw you.
Tonight, we have a double feature for you. 2 episodes of the classic television show, Lights Out. And the final 2 chapters of the cliffhanger serial, The Purple Monster Strikes. So, lock all of your doors and windows. Turn off all of your lights. Sit back, have a cup of tea, and enjoy our latest double feature.
Out. Hello. Tonight, we issue fair warning to those of you who are foolish enough to believe that old Mother Earth is the only planet in this endless universe of ours inhabited by human creatures. But you'll see what we mean, just as tonight the Martian eyes will see you. Lights out.
Good morning, Professor Lyman.
Good evening, Frank.
What'll it be?
The customary poison.
Sir? And what do you hear from the Martians, Professor? No, some guys see pink elephants or little lizards. But the Professor here, he's different. He's got Martians.
Well, someday, Franklin, when it's too late, people will appreciate my warnings. Remember, they laughed at Galileo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've got work to do, Mr. Lyman, so excuse me, will you? And, don't bother the customers, eh? Let me know if he bothers you, mister.
Don't look now.
Look at what?
See him?
Sure I saw him.
He is one of them. He's been following me all day. Now the trick is to jump the gun on them with absolute convincing proof. Did you see how nonchalantly he walked by just then carrying his drink? He'd have fooled anybody, don't you agree?
Oh, definitely.
I knew that you were sensitive the first minute I saw you. You're a press photographer, aren't you?
How'd you know that?
I've been following you all morning.
You what?
Yes,
Same again, gents? Right, sir.
I first noticed you on the subway. I saw how you were watching everybody, particularly their foreheads, like a cat. Well, speaking of cats, by the way, did you know that they can see them too? Only they pretend that they can't. Because I have a theory that before they came to Earth, the cats ruled.
Who are they?
Well, the Martians, of course.
Martians? Like in Orson Welles?
Yes, I suspected from the first moment I saw you that you were aware of them too.
Look, I'm a photographer. Faces are my business. I watch everybody.
Well, I could be wrong, of course. I've tried to persuade so many people, and all they do is laugh at me. Professor Spitzer, that is the astrophysics man. Now, he had an article in last week's Time in which he said that assuming that there was life on Mars and assuming that they were way ahead of us and could come to Earth, nobody would believe the few people who did see them. Unless, of course, there was absolute definite proof.
All around, as you say.
All around.
Him?
Shh. They rule the world. They have conquered us, and they're so clever that we don't even know it. Wait, they follow us, they even marry us. Now, you take bathtubs, for instance.
Okay, take bathtubs.
Nobody in their right mind would say that bathtubs are comfortable for us humans, but for Martians, they're fine. Now, look, whenever I hear the water running into my bathtub, and I know that there's a Martian splashing around in there, I usually pretend that I don't hear a thing.
Oh, it's a smart move.
Well, they hypnotize us, you know.
Oh, you don't say.
It accounts for so many things. Now, why does a criminal confess? Isn't that the most illogical thing in the world? And yet he does it. Nothing makes any sense.
See, you're serious about all this, aren't you?
And why is my wife so illogical about money?
Martians?
Precisely. You know, just last week, I realized suddenly that my bed was too short for me, and I wanted to buy a long one. Did I? Oh, no. Why? Because the Martian who generally sleeps there, he persuaded me that I shouldn't spend the money. I shall go through the rest of my life now with my feet sticking out over the edge of that bed. Does that make any sense, does it?
Hey, look, you aren't kidding, are you?
And take wars. Wars don't make sense from any human viewpoint. Nobody wants them. We go right on having them. Why?
Search me, Doc. Why?
From the Martian viewpoint, they're valuable. You see, they give us a spurt in technocracy. And the Martians use our developments for their own purposes.
You figured this out all by yourself, huh, Doc?
All by myself.
Okay, Doc, I get the picture. Now, look, why don't you take your drink and get down there and sit all by yourself?
And you know how I tell?
No.
It's the third eye.
Could you say that again?
It's a third eye. There's a third eye right here, middle of the forehead. It's invisible most of the time.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
If it's invisible, Doc, how can you see it?
There's a special prescription for infrared light. My physician gave it to me about a year ago for a most unusual eye condition. That was when I saw them for the first time, and I concluded that the third eye is only visible in infrared light. Now, I want to give this secret to the world, but nobody will believe me unless you...
Yeah, sure, Doc. Go on.
Well, I must warn the world, and the question is, how far will I get?
That's a good question.
You see, not even the Martians believe me. Oh, if they did, I'd be a dead duck by now, wouldn't I? Now, I had hoped that... No. I suppose that your Martian has hypnotized you just like all the rest. You won't believe it.
Did you say my Martian?
Please. Now, I may be just a tiny bit drunk, but my logic is absolutely unimpaired. 2 and 2 equals 2 and 2. Either you know about the Martians or you don't. If you do know, why do you give me this my Martian routine? My Martian knows you have a Martian. I know you have a Martian. The only question is, do you know it? Will you think hard? Will you?
No, I don't have one.
Why? You're very nervous, aren't you? Yes. You're very nervous, aren't you? Of course you have a Martian. Everybody has one following him around, watching him, giving him...
What would I be doing with a Martian? You're out of your... Was it,
Look, I must go.
Not just yet, Doc.
What?
Is anybody watching us? Listen, when you started talking, I figured you were loony as a bedbug. Maybe you are. But this third eye business interests me. Sit down.
No, I'm...
Come on, sit down. I have a studio on the ground floor of my house where I do some private work. You know, portraits and stuff to pick up an extra buck now and
I
again.
really don't need any portraits.
About a month ago, I started fooling around with some infrared film. It's something new, you know, for taking pictures in almost complete darkness. Well, I shot a picture of my studio. When I developed it, there was someone looking in my window. Well, I blew it up to see who it was, and here it is. I figured it was some Halloween gag until you started talking a little while ago.
Now that we've both seen it, we might be able to convince people. It'll be dangerous, though. You see, as long as it was just a question of one drunk old man babbling in a bar, they didn't need to worry about that. But now the two don't.
You take this photograph for safekeeping.
To the negative.
Well, come to my studio about 8 o'clock tonight. We'll figure out how to proceed. Can you be there?
My wife?
Well, tell her you have to visit a sick friend. Tell her anything but be there. Here's the address.
Well,
You better go out the back way.
So long, Professor. He's quite a character, eh? Philip? You know, I've seen him come here with all kinds of things. But he's the first one I've seen with Martians.
Hello, Sorrell speaking.
hello, Mr. Srell. This is Professor Lyman.
Well?
I had a difficult time. My wife is a most suspicious woman, but I managed to sneak out.
Good. Where are you?
I'm in a drugstore near your corner. Now, you listen to me. Do you remember the one who was snooping around the bar?
Yeah.
He's been following me ever since I left the house. I think I managed to give him the slip, but I'll stay here a few minutes to make certain. You have the negative.
Yes.
Oh, good. But we must be careful. We must be careful. When I get there, will you let me in quickly?
Right.
Good. I'll be over in a minute. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'll be waiting. Thank heaven you got here. You.
Good evening, Mr. Sorrell. You have an excellent memory for faces. So do I.
What do you want?
Let's not be naive, Mr. Sorrell. I was extremely interested in your infrared photography this morning.
I don't know what you're talking about.
After listening to our friend Lyman babble about three-eyed Martians for the past few weeks, it came as quite a surprise to me when you actually produced a photograph corroborating what he said. Naturally, it was most important that I verify the photograph and the technique.
You're crazy.
You're mistaken, Mr. Sorrell. It's our friend Lyman who's crazy. At least I hope to prove he is. You will get the photograph for me, please. And the negative.
Who are you?
Our friend Lyman has been acting most peculiarly lately. His wife has become concerned. She's thinking of having him legally committed to an institution.
What's all this got to do with you?
I, too, am most anxious that Lyman be committed. I've been following him for some weeks. So, naturally, Mr. Sorrell, following him, I observed him. So you see, that's my job. I want to make sure that Lyman is committed as insane, so that Mrs. Lyman is free to pursue the kind of life that she chooses to lead. So naturally, when you come along and verify all the things that he's been saying, I am most concerned.
You're lying. You're one of them.
Get the photograph, Mr. Sorrell.
And if I refuse?
You will not refuse.
Very well. It's in the dark room.
And Mr. Sorrell, no tricks, please. My client is very determined.
Operator. Hello, operator. Get me the police. Hello. Hello, operator. I see you thought of everything, including the telephone wires. Here's the negative. It was taken with infrared film using a combination of filters known only to me. I used this camera using ordinary technique, like this. Here. Here. Light!
Now we know that the Martians are flesh and blood and they can be killed.
How?
Well, I managed to sneak in and surprise him. I borrowed your little paper knife.
But this is murder.
What do you think he'd have done to you if I hadn't killed him?
I'll get the police.
No, don't be a fool. You think that the police are going to believe a fantastic story about a three-eyed Martian? We aren't ready for them yet. Now, we've got to convince the world before we tell them.
The body. Someone may come in here at any moment.
You pretend that you're taking his portrait. You see, I'll be in the base.
I can't.
Well, you must.
One moment. Wait a minute. Maybe he wasn't a Martian.
Why,
Maybe
of course he's a Martian. I can see his third eye quite plainly. It's staring wide open. Don't you feel it looking at you?
Stop talking like that. Hide.
You be calm.
Police! Oh, Mr. Sorrell?
Hello, officer. I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, but I was doing a portrait.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to bother you, sir, but the telephone operator phoned precinct. She said she got a call from your number. Sounded like you needed help.
No, everything's perfectly all right, really. Thanks very much for coming anyway.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. Mind if I look around?
Well,
I'm pretty interested in photography. I noticed your rig in here. Yeah, that's a beauty, all right. Uh-huh. Boy, I wish I could afford one like that, but I guess not on my salary, huh? Well, Mr. Sorrell, I see you're busy, so I'll just take off. I'm sorry to have bothered you, sir, but you know how these things are. Watch the birdie. Good night, Mr. Sorrell.
good night, officer. If only I could be certain. If only there was some positive way. Lyman,
What?
are you ready yet?
In a minute. You bring him down.
Oh, Mother in heaven. There's no third eye. He's a human. An ordinary human. Lyman. Lyman!
I'm ready for you.
Lyman, we've made a mistake.
Oh, no. There's no mistake, I assure you, Mr. Sorrell. The graves are ready. Both of them.
Oh,
Both. Come down.
Oh, well, no one would have believed Mr. Sorrell's story anyway.
Hello there. Time for Two Truths and a Lie, in which I will tell you two truths and one lie, and you must guess the lie. Tonight, it's all about Burgess Meredith. First, he was an Army Air Corps captain in World War II in 1945. Second, his nickname among the Hollywood elite was Bugsy. And third, he was the second choice to play the Penguin on the Batman television series. The first choice was Spencer Tracy. There you have it. We'll tell you the lie by the end of our double feature. Good luck.
Harvey find out what the metal was in that medallion?
Yes, a spectrum analysis showed that it was composed of a mineral element which has never been found on Earth, but is known to exist on Mars.
Exactly where does that get us?
To something very important. Harvey also found traces of carboxide gas in the cavities of the medallion. Now, that gas can be made synthetically on Earth, but science knows that it exists in its natural form on Mars.
Well, that may be true, but after all, it's only a theory. Nobody from the Earth has ever been to Mars.
But if someone from Mars had been on the Earth, this carboxide gas might be necessary for their existence.
You realize how fantastic all this sounds?
Yes, but fantastic is just the word to describe the purple monster and the girl who was associated with him. Sheila saw her emerge from the body of Helen, so it's entirely conceivable that the purple monster could merge into the body of a man.
Craig, you don't believe that.
I'll believe anything that explains this mystery, and I'm convinced that we've succeeded in linking the purple monster with Mars. He's building a jet plane, obviously to return to Mars, and he'll need carboxide gas to breathe on the way. I'm going to find out if anybody's ordered that stuff from a chemist.
Craig, if I had your imagination, I could fly to Mars without a jet plane. Let me know how you come out.
All right, I will. Come on, Sheila.
How are you getting along with the loading?
Fine. We're almost ready for your final inspection. And I'm picking up the last truckload of carboxide this afternoon.
That's good, because we may have to take off a little sooner than I had planned. Foster had Marsh's medallion analyzed, and now he knows about the gas. He also made some rather shrewd guesses about my origin. Fortunately, we're making the carboxide in our own plant, so his investigations won't lead him very far.
I see. You don't know of any other firm that might make carboxide? All right, thank you. Well, that's the last of them. Nobody makes the stuff. Most of them never even heard of it. No luck?
Luck? As soon as I mentioned carboxide, they looked at me as though they thought I intended to kill somebody.
Well, you could kill somebody with that stuff. It's highly explosive and deadly poisonous. Well, I'm afraid we're through. World Chemical was our last chance.
Incidentally, they did mention that the only unusual customer they had was some outfit that bought empty gas containers.
Empty gas containers? Who was it?
I didn't ask, but whoever they are, they're picking up a load this afternoon.
Well, it's a long shot, but I'm going out there and look them over. If I learn anything, I'll call you at the observatory.
Get your motor started. I'll be ready in a minute.
like those containers are coming loose. Keep going. I'll go back and fix them. Fix him? Yeah. Guess who was back there? Foster. Foster? Yeah, and I knocked him into the trailer. He's not gonna bother us anymore.
Craig thought he'd better find out who was buying those empty gas containers.
And you haven't heard from him since?
No, he was to call here if he learned anything.
Well, make yourself at home, my dear, and if you'll excuse me, I'll go on with my work.
Go right ahead, Uncle Cyrus. I'll stay here and wait for his call.
Start unloading that trailer. Boss wants you to phone him as soon as you get in. What's that gauge? Thanks, Garrett. Don't thank me. Keep your eyes open. There's enough gas in this plant to blow us to bits.
I'll get it. Dr. Layton speaking.
This is Garrett. Do you want me?
Oh, yes. So glad you called. Before you go any further with your experiment, I want to warn you again to be careful. You can't afford to have strangers learn anything of our process.
I get it. You can't say anything right now. What, are you worrying about Foster? Well, you can forget about Foster. He climbed aboard the truck and I took care of him. See you later.
with a demonstration of my new invention, the Goodies Machine. Special for patrons of this drive-in, the machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you. Mmm. 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 Mmm.
Barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. Our barbecue is prepared especially for you. Try our delicious hamburgers. Come and get them at the concession stand.
Crowds are thinning out at the snack bar, folks, and there are still 3 minutes till showtime. You can easily make it for something that'll just hit the spot. How about it? Don't waste a second of refreshment time. You'll find such an appetizing assortment of refreshments at the snack bar, you won't be able to decide what to ask for first. All of your snack bar favorites are there, including fresh peanuts, hot popcorn, and candy of all kinds. And believe us, you've never eaten better hot dogs, crisper French fries, or more delicious buttered popcorn.
Hello there. Time for some words about the cast and crew of The Purple Monster Strikes. Seems fitting since we are closing out this Republic serial in this double feature. The director, Spencer Bennett, was known as the King of the Serials, or the Serial King. No, he's not King Vitamin, the other serial king. The king of the actual serial, cliffhanger serials, because he directed practically all of them for Republic. G-Men vs. the Black Dragons, Batman and Robin, Superman, you name it, he practically directed it. Royal Cole was one of the writers of The Purple Monster Strikes. He also wrote Valley of the Zombies, the Captain America serial for Republic, The Ghost of Zorro, Batman and Robin, many, many others. Dennis Moore plays Craig Foster. He was primarily a Western actor, as were most of the people in this cast, who did Westerns for Republic and many other small studios. He was in The Mummy's Curse. He was also in Voodoo Man and The Night the World Exploded, and did, again, many, many fine Westerns. He was in The Frozen Ghost with Lon Chaney Jr. even. Linda Sterling plays Sheila. She was in Manhunt of Mystery Island. She was Tiger Woman. She was also in Invisible Informer. She once said she made her living pretty much being tied up, thrown off horses, and in fistfights. Ray Barcroft plays the Purple Monster, and he was in Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe, The Phantom Creeps, Radar Men from the Moon, Night Key with Boris Karloff, and he did Western work well into the 1970s. James Craven plays Dr. Layton. He was in The Green Archer. He was also in Invisible Agent. And he also was in Flying Discmen from Mars and King of the Rocket Men, two more classic serials. And then we have Bud Geary, who plays Hodge the Gangster. He was in the 1922 version of Robin Hood, playing Will Scarlet, believe it or not. And he was also in Night at the Opera with the Marx Brothers and the mysterious Dr. Satan. And, of course, many, many Westerns. So we hope you are enjoying our double feature. We'll get right back to it after this word from our sponsor.
Now come the days of warm, bright sun. Carefree happy days. These are days to enjoy again, days to save in pictures. There'll be times like this in another year, but they won't be quite the same. For a little girl meets a dancing wave for the first time only once. And a proud young man brings his own catch home for the first time only once. A boy meets a girl on a summer day for the first time only once. And no other days will be quite the same in all the weeks to come. These are the days of family loves, days to save in pictures. Plan now to save your good times in pictures. Ask for Kodak film in the familiar Kodak box.
Hello. Have you ever longed to have a different face, another name, a new life? Well, if you have, remember there are some things you can never leave behind. Lights out.
Anxious, Mr. Carvel? They told me Dr. Peter Cranford was the finest plastic surgeon in all of London. I trust your reputation will reflect itself in the finished work.
Turn around, please.
I suppose you were puzzled by my request for absolute secrecy, Doctor.
A great many of my disfigured patients have a sense of shame about themselves, Mr. Carvel. Society makes certain of that. Strange your parents made no effort to...
I had no parents. I'm what you might call a self-made man. What wealth I have, I fought for. I detest ugliness, Doctor.
Yet you wore it like an emblem all these years.
I had no money until recently.
Hold still, please. Now, just one moment. Mr. Carvel, behold. There are no scars, just two fine lines near the lobes, where the skin graft was clipped back.
Do you have the original photographs, Doctor?
Yes?
May I see them, please?
Certainly.
I shall want this destroyed.
I'm afraid that's impossible. You see, I always keep a duplicate set of photos. It gives me a record of my work. And on rare occasions, the police require them.
I insist it be destroyed. I wore that face like a mask of horror for 30 years. I want no reminders.
Mr. Carvel, we had an agreement when you came here. I asked you no questions. You paid me the sum of $15,000, and I performed cosmetic surgery. You haven't been particularly pleasant to work with. I've often suspected you could use a little good psychotherapy along with the physical treatment. Now, I must insist on my rights as a physician. This photograph is part of my record.
You don't understand, do you, Doctor? Very well, let me tell you. I was in France a few months before I came here. There was a girl, a very beautiful girl. I mistook her kindness for affection. And when she told her lover, he laughed at me. He laughed at me.
The shame was his.
No, it was mine. It was then I swore to destroy every ugly thing I found in my path, including my own ugliness, Doctor. Now, I want that photograph.
Mr. Carvel, I don't believe your motives are as simple as you say. Who are you? Where are you from? Why did you insist on such absolute secrecy? Your name is not listed in the directory. Now, what is it? Are you wanted for some crime? Perhaps I can help you if you trust me.
I want that photograph, Doctor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carvel.
No one knows me.
Allow me.
Thank you. Are you a patient of Dr. Cranford?
Yes.
Well, you won't find him in. He's away for a weekend.
I had hoped to be here in time.
You're too late. Do I know you? Do I know you?
This way, monsieur. Welcome to the house of the silent man. I, Etienne Dubois, assure you of every hospitality. You will find, monsieur, that... pardon, un moment, s'il vous plaît, pardon. Laure, viens-tu? On convive. My daughter Laure, on convive anglais.
Bonjour, monsieur.
So, I will bring this up.
What's your name, monsieur?
Crane. Franklin Crane.
How do you spell this?
Let me.
You have been here before, Monsieur Crane.
You recognize my face?
No, and yet something. Perhaps the voice is like one I have known.
Oh, yes.
An evil man.
Well, look at my face. Do I look evil?
Au contraire, monsieur.
I am rather handsome.
Oui, monsieur.
Good. We shall be friends.
The south room, Monsieur Crane.
I shall want a north room.
Oh, but monsieur...
You haven't one available?
We have one, and it is available, but it looks over the cliff facing the
I'll
ocean.
take it.
Oui, monsieur. Papa?
Oui?
Monsieur Crane wanting north room.
Oui, ma petite.
Monsieur?
You're very lovely.
Merci, monsieur.
Are you married?
No, monsieur.
Engaged?
No.
Strange. Such a beautiful girl as you.
My fiancé was killed, monsieur.
I'm sorry.
Eh bien, c'est fini.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I've traveled a long way.
Monsieur?
Never mind. I'll find my way.
Oui, monsieur.
Good night, monsieur.
Bonsoir.
Mademoiselle?
You're a very attractive man.
Yet there is something about him.
Oh, you imagine.
Papa, he asked me if I were married.
So? Well, one day you will try to forget about René and think about somebody else.
I don't know.
Good evening.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Let us say for the moment that I am your traveling companion.
You followed me from London?
Much further than that.
What do you want?
I came to be with you.
Why?
You see, Mr. Carvel, I am too ugly to face the world. You must know how that feels.
You were a patient of Dr. Cranford.
I was.
Did he change you?
No, he might have, but you destroyed all hope when you plunged the scalpel in his back.
So you know.
I know a good many things.
What makes you think you'll leave this room alive?
Only my knowledge of you.
You are cool, aren't you? I suppose you intend to blackmail me. You have it all down in writing somewhere, haven't you? And if you're destroyed, the letter will be mailed to the police, is that it?
I knew I could trust your disfigured mind to deduce something like that.
And what do you want? What are you doing here?
I've already told you, Mr. Carvel, I came to be with you. Being ashamed of myself, I prefer to hide from the world. Naturally, I must eat and have companionship. I think it is poetic justice that you nourish and protect me.
Take off that mask.
Don't do it, Mr. Carvel. I warn you. Don't remove the mask. You won't like what you see.
Look, I'll give you money. You can go wherever you want to go.
I have
You can
no
go to-
place to go.
How long? How long do you intend to stay here?
How long? Forever, Mr. Carvel. Forever.
He has not come down yet?
Not yet, Papa.
Strange man, that one. Always he likes to keep to himself. Even cleans his own room. Yesterday, I heard him talking to himself. I heard what I thought was another voice in conversation with Monsieur Crane. I made an excuse to enter, but there was no one with him.
He seems very nice, Papa.
So, he finds you attractive?
Oui, Papa.
And you, how do you find him?
Well, he's a very handsome man, but when I think of René...
But René is dead. He's coming.
Ah, bonjour, Etienne.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, Laura.
Bonjour, Monsieur Crane.
You look quite lovely this morning.
Merci, Monsieur.
You have a most attractive daughter, Etienne.
Ah, oui, monsieur.
I have a necklace in my room. It belonged to my mother. With your permission, I'd like to make a present to your daughter.
If monsieur's intentions are those of a serious man...
Oh, I assure you, Etienne, they are. Most serious. Most serious.
You seem pleased with yourself this morning.
I am.
I take it the romance is going rather well.
You know too much for your own good.
This is more than mere romance, though.
What makes you think so?
She rejected you once.
How did you know that?
You forget, Mr. Carvel, I too am ugly. And so you swore to have your revenge. You would make her love you, marry you, and then torture her for the rest of her life.
Who are you? Who are you?
I might be many people, Mr. Carvel. I might be a twisted figment of your own imagination. Or I might even be the spirit of René Philippe.
What do you know of that?
Nothing, Mr. Carvel. Nothing. To us, Francis Carvel, the inseparable devoted companions.
You like working here, Laura?
C'est agréable, and Papa is very nice.
Why, I should think a beautiful girl like you would be more at home in say Paris. Wearing beautiful gowns, eating at the best places.
Monsieur makes a joke.
No, I'm most serious. If you were my wife, you'd have nothing but the best.
Monsieur is very flattering.
Laura, I'd like you to accept a small gift.
Oh, I'm afraid I could
Please,
not.
I've already spoken with your father.
But Monsieur Cohen...
Laura! Don't shut me out. I've fallen in love with you. I want you to marry me. Oh, I realize this is very sudden. Well, you see, I haven't very much more time. I have to go back to England in a week. And I would be very proud if you would join me.
I do not know what to say, Monsieur.
Don't say anything now. Think it over.
Oui, Monsieur.
And please accept this necklace my mother wore.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Etienne. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to my room.
But Monsieur Crane...
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Monsieur Crane gave me a gift, Papa.
Well,
He wants to marry me, Papa.
and you?
I don't know. He's very nice.
But, always but. He is handsome. He has money. He's respectable. Let us see the gift.
Mon Dieu!
This is a very bad joke.
This is no joke, Papa. The cord. It is the cord which strangled René.
Oh, you are mad.
I know it is, Papa. And I know it frightened me about Monsieur Crane.
Oh, you speak nonsense.
Papa, it is he. I swear it is he.
He? Who?
Monsieur Crane is the ugly one.
You cannot mean Carvel.
Yes.
But this one is handsome. A gentleman. The other was a beast.
Papa, it is he. I know it is he. The voice, even the initials FC are the same.
I cannot believe it. Wait here. We will see about this.
Papa, be careful.
You gave her the necklace?
Yes.
Does she know you murdered for it?
She knows nothing. She's going to marry me. So I can't have you around anymore.
You're going to murder her soul.
I don't know who you are. I don't even know whether you exist to anyone except to me. But if you're not out of here by tonight, I'm going to kill you.
Do you really think you can destroy me?
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
I warn you, Carvel.
Take off that mask. Quick. Get behind the drapes. Yes, what is it?
I want to speak with you, Monsieur Crane.
Well, I was just about to turn in. Perhaps later we can talk.
Now, Monsieur.
Very well. What is it about?
This.
I never saw it.
You presented it to my daughter this evening.
I?
I saw her open the box with my own eyes.
But why should I give her...
Her lover was found with a rope such as this wrapped about his throat, Monsieur.
Look, I assure you I had nothing to do with this. I gave her a necklace. There's been some mistake. I must apologize, of course.
Perhaps the police would be interested in this
Believe
matter.
me, Etienne, I know nothing about this. This is some ghastly joke.
Joke?
Look, give me some time. I need some time to figure out how this ghastly thing happened. You did it.
Or did you do it yourself?
You can't confuse me anymore.
Perhaps it was you. Perhaps instead of placing the necklace in the case, you accidentally enclosed the cord. The same cord, Mr. Carvel, with which you strangled René Philippe.
You know everything, don't you?
I know everything you know. I know that one evening a year ago, René Philippe sat in this room and laughed at you when you told him you loved Lord Dubois. I know you were very angry and ashamed of your ugliness. You tore a length of cord from the curtain at that window. And that very same night, René Philippe's body was found on the rocks below with a cord around his throat. I warn you, Carvel.
You have my face. My whole face. You devil.
Who is it?
Who's there? No. It can't be. I'm going out of my mind. I just killed you. I felt your body. You were dead. Get away. Get away.
Do you not recognize your own ugliness, Francis Carvel? Do you not see in me the monster you tried to destroy within yourself? Francis Carvel, I am the horror in your own black soul.
Papa, it is Monsieur Crane.
He must have fallen from the window.
He's dead, Papa.
Oui, what a pity. Such a handsome man.
What is it, Papa?
No, no. Do not look. Go quickly, fetch the police.
What
Go.
is it?
Go quickly.
I counted the clicks of the dial and figured out the number he called. Here it is.
Why, it's the observatory.
Exactly.
I remember now. Someone called while I was there, but Uncle answered it. Craig, surely you don't think he has any connection with the Purple Monster?
I don't know what to think, Sheila. But suppose the Purple Monster had killed your uncle and was using his body just as the Martian girl did with Helen.
Oh, it's too horrible. I can't believe it.
I know how you feel, Sheila, but we've got to face the truth.
I suppose you're right.
I have a plan that might give us the answer. Do you think you could get your uncle to leave the observatory long enough for me to hide a noiseless motion picture camera in his study?
Yes? But what would that accomplish?
I'll rig it up to the telephone so that when he picks up the receiver, the camera will start. Then I'll call him and give him a message that will force him into action if he is the Purple Monster.
All right, I'll call him.
Yes? Oh, hello, Sheila.
Uncle Cyrus, can you come over immediately? Mr. Stewart has some papers that need your signature.
Well, can't they wait? I'm terribly busy. Oh, very well. I'll be there shortly.
He'll be right over.
Good. I'll get the camera and hook it up. Keep him here as long as possible.
Really, Sheila, I don't know what's come over you. These could have waited till later.
As you know, Uncle Cyrus, the Foundation is preparing its annual report, and this data must be checked as soon as possible.
I can't give you any more time just now, Sheila. I'm sorry. Perhaps tomorrow.
Oh, I've been so worried, Craig. I kept him here as long as I could.
Everything's all set. I got out just one jump ahead of him. Well, a great deal's going to depend on this phone call.
Dr. Layton speaking. You sure of what you're saying?
I've just discovered the Purple Monster is using the observatory for a hideout. Positive. I'm coming over with a squad of men from headquarters and make a thorough search of the place.
This is all very upsetting, Craig. Hadn't you better come down here alone and talk things over with me?
Oh, there's nothing to worry about. The sooner the police take over, the safer we'll all be. Must have left right after I phoned. Let's check the camera. It worked. I've got to get this film developed immediately.
Uncle has a developing outfit in the document basement.
Fine. Suppose you go down and get the equipment ready while I unload the film.
Everything seems to be in order, but I can't find the gyro compass.
It's over there. I'm just going to...
Someone's using the secret entrance. Most unfortunate that you had to interfere with my business at the last moment. Otherwise, you might have lived until I returned from Mars with an invading armada of jet planes. It's too late to load the Annihilator on the plane, but you may use it to destroy the observatory and anyone who happens to be in it. So get it warmed up.
All right, Garrett, get away from there. Where's the purple monster?
I don't know.
All right, untie her. Well, Inspector, what do you think about it?
Well, I'd rather not think about it. It's like a bad dream.
It would have been a nightmare if that creature had escaped and brought back an army of purple monsters.
That's right. We can be very grateful that the secrets of the jet plane remain on the Earth.
We hope you have enjoyed our latest double feature. Please, feel free to email us your comments about it. Also be sure to check out our blog, Facebook fan page, Twitter feed, Weird-O-Rama.com, and our Patreon page if you are feeling generous. By the way, the lie? Burgess Meredith was not known as Bugsy to his Hollywood peers. He was known as Buzz. Buzz Meredith. So, for all of us at Weird-O-Rama, this is Victor von Psychotron telling all of you to stay weird.